Hey everybody, welcome to Farmhouse Fabrics. My name is Sally and I'm thrilled that we have a special guest with us today. And Danna has been with us one other time. This is Danna Gay.
Hi.
And Danna, you love to sew for yourself.
I do.
So you're going to have quite a treat. I've been sitting here the last, 45 minutes and I'm so overwhelmed by everything Danna has learned to do. And you said you've learned a lot from Instagram, right?
Yeah, I did. Instagram taught me how to sew.
Yeah, isn't that something? So we're going to hear her story in just a minute because it's fascinating. And the clothes, the garments that she brought, oh my goodness, Danna. They're so good.
Thank you.
And how about this blouse? She's going to talk about some pattern companies that I hadn't heard about before, but I'm going to want to order this pattern because my grown granddaughters will love it. She loves the sleeve. She'll tell you about that. But first of all, I wanted to mention in our newsletter this week, we talked about a PDF pattern company in Perth, Australia, called the Sunshine Pattern Company, and I was really pleased. I wrote to the owners, Annie, and she wrote right back, and she was excited that we were featuring her PDF pattern company because she's relatively new. And she doesn't have a lot of patterns, but the ones she has are very cute and they're related to children. So we're going to talk about that for half a second before we talk about adult sewing. So this pattern I ordered, it's called the, would you say Clio, C-L-I-O, Clio? Because we were like, is it Clio or Clio? Very, very sweet dress pattern. And it has several different skirt styles. It has just a regular skirt, which I made. It has a regular length that's 2 tiers, and then it has a maxi length. And this is a pattern for knits. So, thinking about my little granddaughters, I made this. Isn't that cute?
Yes, it
I
is.
think they'll love it with the animals. And this little knit is a 4-way stretch, and it has the cutest little forest animals on it. So, you could be happy if you order from Sunshine Pattern Company at Sunshine Pattern Co. Sunshine Pattern Co. And there'll be a link. And she has given you a code to use for a 30% discount, good through November the 17th. And so if you place an order for a pattern, just use the code Farmhouse, and you will receive a 30% discount on the pattern. She has. And I'm gonna download these. She has 2 t-shirt patterns on 2 different size ranges that are free patterns, and they're very cute. And they have a little band out of the same fabric for the
One's an
neckband.
Adult pattern, isn't it?
Is it an adult?
I think it is.
I know there are two size ranges, and I thought I'm gonna download that
That would be
because
cute.
I can see all the kids liking that, boys and girls, and it looks super fast. So this little flutter sleeve is actually a complete circle, and it's fun. It's fun and interesting the way that she makes this, and everything fits together perfectly. And the bodice is lined. So anyway, I told you I was going to show you on Friday, and that meant I was sewing last night, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So go visit Sunshine Pattern Company, and put Farmhouse in there so she knows that you came from us. So, anyway, from that little knit dress to some amazing garments, Danna. Oh my goodness.
Thank you.
I told the girls, I went in the other room, I said, I'm feeling really overwhelmed because it's just so, I mean, you're so rich in knowledge that you have learned in this garment construction. It's amazing to me. So
It's been a lot of fun. It's been a really fun hobby, sewing.
well, you've turned it into a great hobby. I want to ask Danna, and because I needed refreshing too, and many of you have not met her, but I'm always interested in how somebody gets started in sewing. You didn't sew for yourself when you were a kid, right?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I just started sewing about 5 years ago, 5 or 6 years
goodness.
ago.
Wow.
And so I was making jewelry, and then a friend invited me to a quilt retreat, and I saw all their beautiful fabrics and colors, and I put my beads up and pulled out my sewing machine and
Wow.
started sewing.
And you were quilting first.
Yeah, I was quilting. I made a few quilts, and they were fun, but then I folded them up and put them in a closet, and I was like, oh, I want to wear the clothes. I want to wear the pretty colors and the fabrics. I had no idea the fabrics
That were available?
Yes. Colors, prints.
Wow. Well, you seem to have kind of gravitated toward a certain time era. So tell us what that is.
1960s. Especially the little
Yeah,
mod
yeah.
shift dresses. I just like wearing them. They fit me well, and I think they bring just a lot of fun memories back growing up in the 60s.
So, Danna told me that when they were out in the the white go-go boots, right? She was just a little bit young to wear them, but she liked it, and great memories for you during that time. And so now, hey, do you have white go-go boots
I
now?
don't. I don't.
You're gonna have to get some, Danna.
I know.
Oh my goodness.
Maybe some tan ones.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So the shift, you would think a shift dress, that's going to be a really easy thing to make, right?
When I went in the shops, I was always gravitating toward the simple lines, and I thought this looks simple, like one little bust dart, and I can make this.
So what happened the first time that you made something? Tell me what happened.
One of my first patterns that I didn't know anything about the patterns or the marks on them or bust darts or.
Oh, this is like the natural waistline and
Yeah,
neck to waist and all this kind of stuff.
I didn't know any of that, so I just cut it out and sewed it up. And in the front, I was pleased, and then I got my mirror to look in the back, and it was all wrinkled across the back, and
So
I couldn't
was
figure out.
it kind of pulling funny in the back?
Yeah, it was.
Have you ever heard, like I hear this mostly with adult sewing, that you can look at those lines that are pulling and they're actually like arrows pointing to where your problem area, where the problem is with the way the pattern fits.
Yeah, it was too tight on the sides and couldn't slip over my hips.
Yeah.
And I found that out later.
Right.
And then just wanted to learn more, and I'd get on Instagram and look and then follow people and then click here and click there. And
so the first person or the first site that was the most helpful to you was it an individual, or was it a teacher, or an individual led you to a teacher, or what how did that happen? Because you've got some books here that are really interesting.
Yeah, on Instagram, I started seeing a girl named Trisha Camacho from Creative Costume Academy, and she would do, every Thursday, she'd do something called Tricky Thursday. And she'd do these little tidbits about patterns or darts, and I just started following her, and then I saw she had an online platform where you could learn from her, and so I decided to join that, and I learned a lot. It started making sense to me.
Well, so what was one of the first things that you made? I mean, this just kind of, I didn't ask you this ahead of time. First things that you made that you were really happy with. What would have been a shift dress, and when you were able to make
just
the adjustments?
learning where my bust dart was supposed to be, and learning where my waist was supposed to be on the pattern.
So I consider you to be tall. I consider myself to be short. Are you long-waisted or short-waisted?
Yeah, short-waisted. So that was a big problem for me.
That's right. That's why when the hip line, the waist is going to hit you at the hip line. Okay, that makes sense.
And it was always too tight.
Yeah, because that should have been like lifted up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now I've learned to raise my waistline up, and things fit. And it's so nice to fit something on and it fits your bust.
Right. And so am I getting ahead? Because she's created something for herself called a sloper. And so am I way ahead of the game now?
I don't think so.
Okay. I think that's interesting. And I'm probably, even if you've sewn children's clothes but mostly adult clothes, you hear about a sloper, and or a pattern block. I know with children's clothes, a lot of times you might hear the pattern block, and so I want you to kind of talk about that if you don't mind. 'Cause she brought her sloper with her.
So I got on Creative Costume Academy's forum, and she talked about pattern blocks, and then she helped us plot one out, and based on our measurements. And so I know that if I add seam allowance to this, I can create a dress that fits me well. My bust darts where it's supposed to be. I can add darts in the waistline. Or if I left the darts out, it would fit looser, like a little shift. But this could be anything. This could be a pattern. This could be a pattern that you have that fits you well.
Oh, so they could already start with a pattern, and that could be their sloper.
Right.
And that really is a guideline for any other design that you sew. Is that right?
So once you have something that fits you really well, you know this fits, you can make changes. You could lower your neckline, or make more of a cutaway sleeve, or do color blocks, by cutting your pattern up and then adding seam allowance.
And in fact, that's what, and Danna will show you the dress that she designed for herself, but then it was going to be published in Classic Sewing Magazine in the spring. Should we go straight to that? Okay, we
if
can.
you want to.
We can, yeah. I feel like I'm jumping all over the place. I don't mean to do that to you.
That's okay.
Go ahead, sure. And this is the dress that was in our newsletter today. So that Danna created this out of cotton sateen.
That I bought here at Farmhouse. And this is my shift dress that I made from my sloper. I added seam allowance and lengthened it to make a dress. And then once I had my pattern, I cut it up into blocks and added seam allowance. And I hid my bust dart in one of the...
See, this is what is so interesting to me, because I knew when I hung this up that this dress, it looks like a straight dress, but it has shape. And so Danna said, guess what? This side bust dart is actually hidden right here under that band.
Yes.
And that just gives it the shape it needs.
So this was based on a famous 1960s dress by Yves Saint Laurent. And he made this really popular in the 60s, and it just exploded. And they call it the Mondrian Dress. And you just, it was everywhere. It was on shoes, it was on purses, it was on dresses. But I've always wanted to make one.
We're going to have to go to the overhead. So this is a book that Danna brought with her called Mondrian's Dress. And it's written by Nancy Troy and Anne Marguerite Tartsinis. And she saved a lot of pages in here for you to look at. I'm going to go to the overhead so that this will be for YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. I'm sorry the overhead doesn't work, but we'll hold it up to show you. But overhead so that you can see some of these designs. And then you can go ahead and kind of find... Let me back it up just so... There we go. You're fine.
Yeah,
you're fine.
It was a thing, Mondrian's Dress. It became that name. And it was based on an artist named Mondrian.
These are so wild.
These are some fun 60s dresses.
Look at this leg.
Yeah, from the pop culture.
I'm going to hold it up for just a second for here. Whoops.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun looking through this book and seeing all the different Mondrian styles.
There we go.
Yeah. Can they see?
They can. Yeah. Let's go this. There we go. There we go.
This is the one I ended up choosing to make.
That's
but
right.
When I came in, I was talking to Sally. I was like, which one should I make? Should I play it safe and just maybe use 2 colors? And she said, no, I think you need to go for it.
I loved it with the yellow on the bottom. That's really
so. We picked 3 colors, and
it was hard to decide though.
It was hard to decide.
Now this is an interesting page. Tell them about this.
So I guess this is Yves Saint Laurent's drawings of the different styles of that dress that he wanted to make, and then the different color combinations.
I'll go a little bit closer. Yeah, look at that. And so I'm going to hold it up. So now really at home, you could do this yourself. You could keep notes like this and put your samples on. I think it helps bring it to life for you. If you can see it and plan it out, then
that's right. Then it helps to make the garment. I don't draw very well, but I like pictures and books, and so when I saw all this, I could just see it in my head. But there were so many different styles of it.
There are. That's right. How about the hats?
Yeah, the hats. And then the one with just the yellow color block.
Yep, I can see that. And then simple with just a band around, there's a band around the neck and a band around the hem. And it looks like maybe a strip down the sides. It's like a coral pink with black. They're really pretty.
Diane Bruton says this takes me back. I had go-go boots in the 60s and that would have matched this dress exactly.
I'm going to let them see you talking for a second here. Yeah, now here, you might be able to find this pattern, folks. This is a Simplicity 6394. And it is.
It's all based on on that dress.
I'll show you here on Instagram.
Sharon Spencer says she has some color block patterns from the 1960s.
Yeah.
Too.
It was fun to see all this again and plan to make it.
Look at the hats. Can you see? I'm going to get closer on. There's some wild looking hats. Okay, she's got her go-go boots on right here.
Yeah.
I bet you. Yeah. I bet you there are other people with go-go boots too. Oh, Vogue had a Vogue cover. With it. Now that's your dress right there. That's your dress.
Although he did put his first line up a little bit higher.
Oh yeah, I see that. It was up across. It went across here and went into the sleeve. Oh my goodness. So this book, Danna said this book is not very old.
Yeah, just a couple years.
You probably could find this book.
It was fun looking at it. It's a good
it's neat
book to get inspired by.
Then I think we'll talk about this because this came from your class. So this was a suggestion from your class, right?
So when I got on, joined the online forum with Creative Costume Academy, she taught a lot out of this pattern making book. It's Pattern Making for Fashion Design by Helen Joseph Armstrong. And this has been a very helpful book. And once you have your your basic blocks, they show you how you can just make changes to your blocks to create anything that you want. And I thought that was neat, that you could have a pattern block that fits you, and then you could make changes to it to make different styles.
So did it take a long time to create your first sloper to make it fit? Because you did it from scratch, didn't you?
We plotted our measurements out. It was like from A to B to C, and then you draw your lines. But we did it in like one class over a couple hours. But this has been really helpful to me. And when I sew with patterns, I can lay this down on top of my pattern and then kind of look at where is the bust dart on the pattern the same as mine, and I can know what kind of changes I need to make.
Sharon Spencer is asking, what kind of fabric did you use? Was that cotton sateen?
Yeah, cotton sateen here from Farmhouse.
So is it fully lined? I can't remember how we did it.
We lined it. Yep.
Is it lined in silk? Or cotton? Maybe a cotton.
I can't remember. It was lining that you found for me. And the lining really
makes it
gave it a nice shape.
Yeah.
A finish to it, a nice finish to it.
So you tend to have a theme because you like shift dresses. So Is this one that is one of these dresses?
Yeah.
So here is another shift dress pattern that she loves. And this is Butterick. Oh, yeah, this is the one. Oh, yes. Yeah, you know, what I think is so awesome, she'll say, now this was now where did this come from, this fabric? Do you remember where this came from? But I know the gold. We'll say where the gold came from the thrift store. They were curtains.
Yeah, this was some brocade. It might have been upholstery brocade. I'm not sure.
It's beautiful.
But yeah, this was a fun pattern, and it came together pretty quickly, and it fits nice.
So this dart is really different because it comes up from the waistline.
Yeah, they call that the French dart.
Oh, they do? Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
And it gives nice shape to the shift dress.
It probably pulls it in at the waist some too, doesn't it?
So it just doesn't look as straight as this one would be.
Right.
This one's a little more fitted.
Does it have back darts? Yes, this one does have back darts.
It does.
Yeah,
It has some back darts.
But look at that beautiful invisible zipper. It's so invisible you can hardly tell. You can't even tell it's there. I have a hard time with invisible zippers when you get down here to not have a little pucker.
Yes. That's where I have trouble with too. I don't know whether, do you sew this up first?
You're not supposed to. You're supposed to sew it afterwards.
Okay. So you sew your zipper in, and then you come up to where you ended, and then sew down.
Yeah. But it is kind of like a miracle. when you get that in there, you're like, man, how did that work?
And I've always wanted to have a jacket to wear with my dress, but I didn't have enough fabric, so I made a cape.
Let me hold this. So.
Yeah, a little matching cape to wear over it.
So that's her other thing she loves. Straight shift dresses, and she loves capes.
Yeah, I've been on a cape kick.
Well, there is a cape pattern. It's like, before anybody goes to find it, I want to find this online. I love this cape. This is a McCall's 8645. I wonder if it gives a date on here. 1951. So,
and I liked it because this one had a little collar to it.
Yes, but this one has a scarf, and I love scarves too.
Yeah, that would be neat.
This is so cute. Is this what you use for, okay. So here's...
Yeah. This is a real soft, they call it a plush fur. It's real soft. And
when Danna first pulled this out, I thought I was away far across the room, and I thought, that looks like it's pieced or something. And I never dreamed that it was plush, but it is plush. It's really pretty.
It was fun to make, and it's fun to wear.
Yeah, I'll bet it is. That's cute. So this is a reversible fabric, but it didn't work for this pattern, so it's lined in a nice little lining fabric. But look how cute the back. You know what? That kind of makes me think of a Liberty print right here. That's cute. So do you remember where you got that plush fabric?
Yes, I got this from Emma One Sock.
Emma One Sock. Okay, there we go.
Poor Emma.
Poor Emma. I'm going to go to the overhead and show you this pattern up close, because this is really sweet. Look at that. I love this the scarf.
So you could that's kind of sewn in to the collar instead of having the collar, and you would have the scarf.
And this is sweet with a stand up like that too. Man, I love that. So the back, you can see the back is the same on all of them. Now the collar and tie, let's see here. I think it's really a little bit cut on the bias. Even this is a straight of the grain, and then the tie is going across.
Yeah.
So that would give it some drape. Yeah, that's pretty. All right. So we should look at another cape. Let's look at the wool one.
I've got a fun comment.
Yeah, okay.
So Terry said, when I was 16, I met Yves Saint Laurent doing a photo shoot in the streets of Paris.
Oh my
So
God.
it's been experience to see those dresses in person.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I love
That's
that.
great.
Yeah, that's neat.
This is a cape. This is a modern pattern, a modern cape that just came out. It's called Maven Patterns. This is,
Oh, it's a PDF, right?
Yeah.
Here it is. The Maven sewing patterns. Mavenpatterns.co.uk. So it's a capelet.
and I made this when I was on retreat with Regina's retreat, and it was fun to make. And everybody does their own thing there.
Yeah.
They bring their projects to work on.
Man, I love that. This is cute. I really haven't ever seen a cape with a band like this, a waistband.
Kind of looks like a jacket the way it comes
does.
around.
It does. I love your big the frog
It
closure.
really made a difference.
We were saying that this same little frog closure would look awesome on
Yeah, it would.
this fabric right
Yeah,
here even.
because it's almost the same color.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
That would be really pretty on there. But she hasn't decided yet what she's going to use to go across here.
But I got some pretty green wool here that I want to make another cape with.
Good. So what style do you want to make? Do you know?
No, not yet. This pattern does come with a style more like this, with the round neck instead of coming down in a V.
Oh,
it comes as
okay.
a round neck
Okay.
and comes down. So see, there
I
it
see
is.
it. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep,
So I
there's
think
it.
I might do that just to
That'd be
have
very
something
pretty.
different.
Great. Oh, I love that. Man, I bet that was not a time-consuming pattern.
No,
Not
I
too
think
bad, right?
I
Not
worked
too
on
bad?
it about 2 days.
Yeah.
I cut it out, worked on it some, and then finished on the second day.
I love that. So then, let's see, have we done the? Let's pull out the. Oh, there's so many cool things. Let's bring that dress, your shift dress, the blue, the
Okay,
denim,
this
because the denim. This started off as a.
Yeah, I was just doing like a mock-up. So it's the same pattern that I used to make this shift dress. And I wanted to know, could I make a little lower waistband? And then I added some darts in the front and the back. And so it kind of made a totally different dress.
Yeah, it did.
So I was playing
It
around.
still has that 60s vibe though.
Yep,
with
with the
that,
belt.
Diane said those are gorgeous. Love the green shift dress. And Sharon said all your sewing is beautiful today.
Oh, thank you.
It is. But
So you can use the same
that's
pattern.
your same sloper, right?
Yep, the same pattern I made using my sloper, but just changing it up by adding the front darts and the back darts.
Wow.
And then just kind of dropping. I didn't really drop anything here, but just added the belt to give it the illusion of a drop waist.
I remember in 1967, and I was 17, I made a dress, and it was black and white, and it had a dropped like that, and it had a belt around the hip. Can you believe that? I can remember that, making that.
A lot of good memories.
Yeah, it was
Fun times.
Yes, yeah, I love that dress. That was neat. So, man,
Ball Line Retriever Club says always impressed with your creativity.
Thank you.
I don't know what, because I wanted to. Well, let's talk about the gold, the that you found. Man,
Okay.
because she is one to find something and turn it into something else. It's really awesome. So this
Yeah.
this coat, right?
Real 70s looking.
Yeah.
I went to Catholic Social Services and a friend and I found these draperies.
Look at that. This is so neat. I love that.
It looked so 70s with the
Yeah,
daisy, and so
right.
I bought it and made a jacket with it. And I love these buttons that I got here. They're real vintage looking, and they were gold.
They're vintage. They came, I think, from our when we bought the stash of buttons from New York from that store that closed. But I want you to tell them about your label in the back. Let's take your jacket off of the hanger. I'll
Okay.
get this, and you show them your label.
Should I lay it down?
Show it this way, and then we'll lay it down. And we'll go to the overhead. So you can start telling them
Yeah.
about that. And
So I'd been hearing a lot about AI, artificial intelligence, and I really didn't know what it was or understood it. And then it was
slide it down
popping up
this
on my
way.
computer.
a little bit. There we go. Here we go. Look at that.
Yeah, it was popping up on my computer from Microsoft. So I thought, okay, well, I'll give this a try. And so I typed in, "Can you create me a sew-in label with a girl wearing a psychedelic dress on on a scooter?" And so they made different ones, and finally they came up with this one, and I said, well, I like that one. And so I saved the image, and I sent it to a digitizing service, and they digitized it so that I could sew it out with my embroidery machine.
I love it. So this says Mod Girl Sews by Danna.
Yeah.
But that, I mean, they did a great
And
job.
it was
right?
just fun, you know. I have an
Yeah.
embroidery machine, and being able to incorporate embroidery with your designs.
Yeah, that is really neat. But
It makes me feel like a kid in my sewing room, like playing, opening up your toy box, and
right. Oh my
just
goodness.
letting your imagination flow and create things.
We have people asking about your blouse.
Oh,
You know,
all
what
right. Well,
sleeve pattern.
Yeah.
we're gonna go there too.
So my blouse,
This is an interesting
yeah,
story
it
too.
started out, I bought this dress on Amazon, and when it came, I wasn't real thrilled about it, but it wasn't very expensive, and I knew it would cost more to even try it, send it back. So I really liked the fabric, and I decided to cut the dress up and use the
It was a
pattern.
maxi dress. 'Cause I said, was it just like a shift dress? No, it was a maxi dress, so you were able to work with the fabric.
And so I was able to cut the front and the back, and then the sleeves using all the fabric. And
So I said, did it have a border? Yeah. it had a
yeah,
border,
so
right?
my sleeves came from the border down at the bottom of the dress.
and
And I
Do you have a pattern?
do. This is from Pattern Emporium, and it's called the bubble sleeve top. And it was a lot of fun, and it was easy. It comes with 3 different necklines: high, medium, low. And then your sleeves, you have short or elbow length or
it
right
does
below.
have-
So you have 3 different sleeve lengths.
Yeah, the designs, and I'll go to the overhead so you can get a closer look. But
I've been seeing these sleeves in the
yeah,
shops,
so you want to tell them how
kind
they're
of like,
made.
you know how they're lined, but there's elastic in there, and I couldn't figure out how they were doing it. But when I saw this pattern online, this is how they did it, and it was really easy.
So tell them. Can you tell them?
So
your
your
secret?
lining, the lining is shorter than the main.
Maybe you
the
can show
main
them on
sleeve.
this blouse. Give them a little show and tell.
Well,
Can you show 'em? Yeah, yeah.
well,
Right.
the lining is shorter, so that when you sew them together, it's gonna pull the lining up under. And then when you sew these together, a 5/8 seam, then you make a casing within that seam to add your elastics. So everything's hidden.
I love that. Yeah, so that just pulls it up.
And it was easy to make. It came together really quick, and the neck finishing is just making strip of bias with your fabric and sewing it on. They have really good instructions on how to do it, and
Now this, I think this would be a pretty simple pattern.
for yourself or for a teenager.
I'm thinking my teenage granddaughters would love this style because they're always looking at the puffy sleeves and then a simple top.
I think they would like it too. Does it? This doesn't even have any darts.
No,
And you pull it over your head.
and you know they have liked the top part knit and then the sleeve in something kind of sheer and funny or puffy or taffeta or something way different. I went to the boutique with them one time and I'm like, oh, I never would have thought you would have picked that. You know, I was so surprised. But when I saw your blouses, I'm like, oh, Emma and Lila would love this.
Yeah.
That's cute. So is this the medium, or it's not the high neck? Is it the medium neck?
Yes, I think that's the medium
Because
neck.
the other one is not real low, but it's just scooped a little more.
This one might be a little shorter, and then I tried a little lower neck on that one.
And then they do have, like, looks like they have it. They have one version where they've put elastic around the bottom of the hem, maybe, and
Oh
made
yeah,
it, and brought it in.
yeah,
Proofed it in
they
a little
did.
bit.
They called that a hack.
This is definitely you.
It's a PDF pattern you can print out on your printer and then have it immediately.
That's right. So,
Red said your label is stellar.
oh,
Thank you.
It is.
Thank you.
You know, somebody asked us this week that we're featuring PDF patterns at companies that mainly deal in children's wear, and so hopefully she's watching, because now we have some PDF pattern companies for adult clothes that are really cute. Really, really cute. Now, let's do this coat next. So, because I want to save these other tops. They're going to be fun. So,
This
what have
coat-
you done here?
Yeah, I made this at the retreat too with Regina and Joe. My
Rousey.
friend Joan, Joe, we were talking about quilted jackets, and she had some quilts from her grandmother she wanted to maybe use for a jacket, and I was like, let's don't cut it up right away. let's try it out. So we went to TJ Maxx and bought some quilts, and we both worked on our quilt coats that week at retreat. And I found this, it was a quilted quilt, but I bought it just to play around with at retreat, and I added some blue denim to make it pop.
Didn't you have a jacket out of this?
Yeah, I made a
Or
dress.
You
I
had
made a dress.
Yeah.
I even thought about wearing this over my dress because
Yeah.
I made a dress
Right.
with this. And then I just found some
Yeah, these are
Cool
These are really
buttons.
cool buttons.
and
They're-
put buttons on
They're
there.
enameled. We ought to go to the overhead and so you can see these. These are neat. I am a button lover, I have to tell you.
I like buttons too.
So let's see if we can get up close and personal on these buttons. It's beautiful. Let's
Yeah.
see. Yeah, they're enameled. They're a heavy button that's a cast button, and with beautiful colors in it. Beautiful.
So I think this will be fun to wear with a white shirt and some jeans.
So then, this dress, because
The
again
quilt.
it's repurposing.
Yeah.
We're back to quilting.
I was seeing all these quilt dresses on Instagram, and people were using unfinished quilt tops that they found maybe at estate sales, and I wanted to try it. And I found this quilt top on eBay. It was an unfinished quilt top, a big piece of fabric, and I wanted to find a pattern that was just real plain, so that the quilt could just do all the work. And so I made this with the quilt, and it was fun.
Yeah, that's neat. So even that was part of it, right? That
Yeah. This was the border of the quilt. It went around like this. And so I was able to incorporate the border and then kind of have it all fit in the front. So I just did some pattern placement, playing with pattern placement.
This. Oh, but did you?
I
must
didn't-
you didn't add that right there.
Mm-mm,
Oh,
it
you're
was like
kidding
that.
me.
The way,
Oh yeah, because here would be that fabric. Oh, that is so wild.
yeah, I just
Because that looks like maybe you added a piece to go in there to match your band. No, but here's the piece.
mm-hmm.
Oh, I love that. Wow.
Sometimes I make things for fun, but I haven't worn it, but I made it.
Yeah.
It's like model airplanes or, you know, playing with Legos, making things because they're fun.
Yeah, that's right. Wow. Yeah, that's so neat. So then, this is also very interesting. I mean, everything that you've done, every pattern company here, this pattern company I have never heard of, and it's very fun to see these things made up. So let's tell them about this.
This is Forest and Thread, and it's called the Good Times Tee. And I saw this on Instagram. I saw them showing it, and So it's made with knit, and I was a little nervous about sewing with knit, but you need a 4-way stretch, and it's all done on your serger. So you could use like a sheer fabric for the top, or you could use the same fabric up top or on the bottom. But it's just all done on the serger.
Does this have to stretch, or just this?
Just
the
yeah.
band, right? Because that has to go over your head.
They give you this little stretch guide, so you have to make sure your fabric can stretch that length, because this has got to pull over your head. So you pull it over your head, but it came together really easy, and I just did it all with my serger. I didn't make any adjustments. I just cut it out.
That's
on
cute.
the pattern and no adjustments.
And tell them what you you could wear it. It almost looks like a
with this kind of netting. It almost looks like it's a drop shoulder top.
Yeah.
But I had so much fun with this one that I made another one.
Yeah, this is pretty. This is burnt. So this is a burnout down here, and
but this is it's a 4-way stretch.
Yeah.
And then I used netting again, and then used this on the bottom.
I love that. This is like a burnout velvet. So this has a velvet. The squares are in velvet, and then it's you can see it's thinner in here. Man, but it has stretch both ways. That's pretty.
And it's fun to wear with jeans or.
That's cute. That is cute. So, Danna brought a dress form with her, and I thought, why is she bringing that little tiny dress form? So this is another thing, and I mean, I'm just not out there. So when I say I've never heard of it, that doesn't mean anything. That just means I've never heard of it. But this is so interesting to me. I want Danna, I want you to tell them about your dress form and how you use this.
So last time I was here, we talked about the dress form that I had made from a body scan from Beatrice Forms, and they've created this way to make dress forms based on your body scan. So it's like having a body double to work with.
Well, tell them how they did. Does somebody have to walk around you, right?
They created an app. You put the app on your phone, and then my daughter just used my app and went around. They gave me some biker pants and like a t-shirt to wear, and she just went around and scanned my body, and then after a couple months, my dress form showed up on a nice pole.
It's her twin.
Yeah, it's my twin. But what they also do is they can make a dress form, my dress form of my body, in half scale. So this is my new addition.
Look at this.
This is my new addition to my sewing room, is a half scale dress form. And what's good about it is I can practice. I have some half scale patterns, and I can
slide it a little bit this way so they can see it on here.
Yeah, I can.
There. And I'll move back a little bit so you have room.
Like I bought this pattern, and I printed it at 100% to make for me, but I also printed it at half 50%. And so this pattern.
So honestly, you could do that, and that, I mean, to me, this is so lit. It's like an 18-inch American Girl doll or something.
But I can practice my designs without cutting a whole dress out with fabric and seeing if it's gonna work. So I can just practice like making changes to the pattern, and I don't use as much fabric, and I can see how it's going to look if it fits,
Right.
Since this is half of my body and she's built like me, then I can play around and see how it's going to look before I cut out the full scale.
You have a skirt. Do you have a skirt over there?
Oh,
too?
yeah.
I want you to show that. This is so interesting to me. I mean, I've been fascinated all day here.
This is my half scale skirt. It's just a basic pattern. And then I could make changes to it. I could add a ruffle or color block it, or you can pin on it. So it's a good way to try things out without wasting a lot of fabric.
Fred said that's brilliant.
It is brilliant.
And like the people in the fashion design classes, they all work with half-scale patterns. And you can buy half-scale forms, but they're usually a size 8 or a 10. And they sell half-scale pattern blocks, just like this slipper that I have. But I thought it would be cool if I could have one half-scale and built like me.
Yes. And have you used it for very many things?
No, I played around with it with the skirt, and then I was playing around to see about how a drop waist dress would look on me. And then that's when I made the bigger one in
the
drop.
denim one with the belt, right?
Well, Barbara has a question about the denim line coat. Is it reversible?
The denim.
It would have been this one.
Oh, I thought about making it reversible, but when I got down to the bottom, I couldn't make it work. I don't know why. So I just hemmed it, and I decided it wouldn't be reversible. You know, sometime when you turn things inside out and you sew, like, you can get the side seam right, but then when you sew around the bottom, sometimes it just won't hang right.
It's like one part of it droops over the other.
So I didn't. I don't know what the secret was to that.
Yeah.
So
Next time she comes, she'll know the answer to that probably, because she researches. But this is neat because I didn't know they even made things like this.
yeah. So I was even Googling, and I found a 1960s half-scale pattern that they used in like educational demonstration. They used, I guess, in the classrooms for the pattern makers while they were learning. But I thought it was neat. And it's a little shift dress.
I know, it's your favorite style.
And this is, does it say what size it is? It's probably a size 8 or 10, because that's what the basic, you can buy the little half-scale dress forms, and they're usually an 8 or a 10.
Well, I wonder if they printed these for, this is a 1965, but I wonder if they printed these for schools and not for, you know, the regular home sewer.
Yeah,
right?
I think it was for
Yeah.
a school.
Wow.
But there are ways, if you make a half-scale pattern and you try it out and you're making changes, there are ways to enlarge it to full scale, but I haven't figured that out yet. I've been seeing little bits and pieces on the internet how to do it, but I still haven't quite figured it out. And it's with CAD, like a CAD program that they use in schools, and I'm not trained in that, so I'm still going to keep digging around and see if I can crack the code.
Yeah, crack the code. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Now, I'm trying to remember your other dress right there.
Oh yeah. So there's a process that works well for me, and this is a mock-up that I was making. So this is a dress that I've
Now,
made.
this has princess lines. Oh,
Yeah.
Is it this pattern?
That's it.
Ah, this is Vogue 5648.
So my process for when I start a new garment is I cut it out based on my pattern, and then I sew it together, and I put it on my dress form, and then I start adjusting the fit. And then once I have it, and then I'll put it on too. And once I have everything adjusted where I like the fit, and so I've used like a muslin, something inexpensive that's not going to waste a lot of money. So once I have it all fitted, then I cut it up. I just cut it up on my seam lines, and then I lay it out, and I make my new pattern based on this. And so then I'll have my pattern, add the seam allowance, and I'm going to have a dress that fits me with the pattern.
Have you done it with
Yeah,
pattern?
that's
You've
what
done it
I.
with- yeah.
Sometimes when you're making adjustments to like your pattern, you're like, how do I transfer what I've done with your muslin back onto the paper? And so I just figured out you just sew it up, cut it up once you get it, and then lay it out and make your new pattern.
So I've been picking her brain apart here because this is interesting to me. And I said, so if you've made changes, I mean, I thought maybe she took the seam apart, but you don't. Because back here, you've made adjustments, and where you've had to take it in, and so,
so I would
you'd cut right there at that seam.
The seams that you see on the outside, I would cut everything up, and then I would have new pattern pieces, and I would add my seam allowance, and I knew when I sew them together, it's going to fit me because I've already done all the changes.
So would you put that pattern piece, would you lay it on a pattern tracing paper, or would you lay it on your fabric you want to actually sew?
Oh no, I'd put it on pattern paper and trace it out.
Yeah.
And add seam allowance.
So another thing that you told me that was interesting, I may have talked on maybe when you were here last week or something. If you have a ready-made garment that you like, tell them that little trick. That's kind of fun.
So a lot of times you'll have a garment that you just love and you want to copy it off. Like, how can I make a pattern so that you can make another one? And then it's not saran wrap, but it's called, what is it called?
It's like,
it's sticky. It's like saran wrap.
It sticks to you. I have some in there in a box.
We've lost the name of it. We were talking about it earlier.
Yeah.
But it's saran wrap, but it has the sticky
it doesn't
side
stretch,
on it.
Really.
Yeah. And so if I use that, if I get that kind of saran wrap that has sticky on the back, I can lay it out and stick it to my garment, and then I can get like a
Press and seal.
that's it.
Yeah.
It's called press and seal. Then I can get
We know it's sticky, but sticky's not in the name, right?
The sticky bowl wrap, whatever. Get press and seal.
Press and seal.
So I spread it out and stick it to my garment, and then I can use my magic marker and trace my seam lines, and then I'll take the saran wrap off, and I'll lay it on paper, stick it to my paper, and then I can cut it out.
I mean, that's a great idea.
And then you have the shape.
Because it's hard to lay a piece of paper on there and try and draw it. It slides all over. Another trick for that, Connie Palmer said that when she's on a trip and she wants to eat or drink coffee or something while she's driving, she presses it all down the front of her. And
makes a bib.
And then it makes a bib. And then when she's done, she just peels it off and throws it away. But that is a great idea for transferring it. Making
I've done that.
Pattern.
I've done that a couple of times, and it worked good.
I love that.
Well, Celia Brian says, I'm so impressed with your dressmaking. This is what I really want to focus on now that my children are too old for me.
Good. It's fun. And I think you'll enjoy it. And sometimes, like, I've done things where I just wanted to go from A to B, and I wanted to be at B, and I couldn't enjoy the process. But with sewing, I have so much to learn, and I've learned so much, but it's just been fun, and I've enjoyed the process. I'm not where I want to be, but it's fun. It's fun getting there because you just are always going to be learning, and I learned by my mistakes.
Vicki, she said this is a treat for her today because she doesn't do children's sewing. So
Well,
it's a real treat.
I'm really glad because somebody did even ask me this week. I wish you would show some adult sewing, and I thought I have just the thing for you. Yeah.
But if you are sewing children's clothes and you want to get into adult sewing, you have all those skills, those beautiful skills, the finishing skills, the French seams and the pin tucking and all the heirloom skills that you can incorporate into your sewing. And when I first started sewing, my insides didn't look pretty at all. I was like, let me just get it to where it looks okay on the outside.
Yeah.
But I'm in this local smocking guild, and so I've learned a lot about heirloom.
I'll bet you have from those ladies. Yeah.
And it's helping me with my sewing.
That's neat. Any other questions?
No, there's a comment on the pressing seal. It says it's great to cover high chair trays in a fast food place.
Oh, right. Right.
These are grandbabies.
Oh my goodness. Well, we have a drawing, and when you see part of this drawing, you're gonna you're gonna like these flowers. This is so funny. So this is perfect for today.
Oh, I do like those flowers.
I think we have another row. If that we don't we have another batch over there?
We do.
We have
Those
another.
are cool.
Aren't they neat?
Yes.
Is this not your style?
I can make a belt.
Oh, no kidding. Oh, yeah. Well, we have one we'll give to you. But we laughed when we saw this and said, this looks like Danna.
I think you could applique these on a dress.
See?
That would
Wheels
be cool.
are turning.
I
Yeah.
know. I know.
Yeah.
It's neat. So we have a piece of silk in here. We have a nice set of Schmetz needles and some couple of vintage patterns, doll and smocking. And a piece of polyester taffeta,
Oh, that's
plaid
pretty.
taffeta. Isn't
That's
that pretty?
really pretty. Yes.
Yeah, that'd be pretty with
That's
maybe
very
with
pretty.
Loden. I don't know. Maybe with the Loden velveteen. I don't know.
And
you hunting
what's
for?
this? Oh, okay.
It's silk charmeuse.
Oh,
that
nice.
nice?
Yes, very nice.
Somebody in the drawing said I can make myself a black slip out of that. That'd be
And
pretty.
then is that the Barbies?
Yeah, and that's never been used. Isn't that
Oh,
cute?
Yes, very cute. The Barbies.
So did you get your name in? We can see who she's going to pull out.
That's perfect for today.
I'm-
Talking about with what we've been doing.
I know.
The 60s.
We asked you if you sew for yourself and what kind of fabric you like. It was very fun to read your responses, and I made a copy for myself just to save and read again and have to read some of them to you. But one girl, I think it was Linda Howard, said she made, when granny dresses were first coming out, the long dresses, she made one and wore it to school, and they sent her home and called her parents and sent her home because her dress was too long. Can you believe that?
Wow.
And after a while, they became more popular and they let them wear. But she said when everybody's wearing short dresses that actually show their panties, and she got sent home because she had a granny dress on. It's crazy.
Wow.
But styles change. So I'm going to let Danna draw somebody out of here and see who wins.
Okay.
And oh, this is Beautiful Creator. Beautiful Creator in the number 4. When I have time to sew for myself, I usually lean towards soft fabrics like velveteen, sweater knits, and chalets. And my colors are green and burgundy or bright florals. She kind of sounds like you, bright florals. But I enjoy sewing for my grandkids, so they get prioritized. I understand that. All right, Beautiful Creator 4, you are the winner, and we will be in touch with you and get this sent. Danna, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
I hope everybody's inspired and think outside the box when it comes to patterns and when it comes to where to get interesting fabrics. I mean, TJ Maxx and a quilt. That's so neat. And I wonder if anybody uses this dress form company, let us know, because Danna has been very, very happy
I have been.
with that. And if you're sewing for yourself, I think it's worth it, right?
It is.
To get something.
It's made a big difference
Yeah.
in fitting.
All right. Well, have a wonderful weekend, and thank you again.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad you came.
Bye.